So, who's done step one? Hands up. Okay.
No, still doing it.
So who's still doing it?
Who's done it?
But let's start with problems. What's the problems with step one? What problems you having with it?
Do you understand how to get it all in order?
All in order.
Understand it, put it into in order.
Okay. What needs to go in order in step one?
Well, so I ask you, because I've got it in here.
You mean that list of reasons to use?
Mm.
Oh right, yeah, yeah.
CMAT's told me just do that bit first, and then when I've done that, then go through the next part with me.
Yeah.
And when I've done that, go for the next part with me.
Right.
So that's how he's doing it with me, anyway.
Okay, yeah. So it doesn't have to be in an order. You mean setting it out into feelings and relationships and stuff like that? Yeah, well that's alright. I mean, you can go through that with somebody else. And we've gone through it a few times here, but it's not always clear. I mean, none of this is an exact science, and it's not always clear exactly, you know, that reason to use, is it to do with relationships, feelings, all this, that and the other. And it's not really necessarily about finding the right answers. It's more about just exploring that reason to use has got many components in your brain. That's what makes it powerful, because the same reason has many different sort of offshoots.
That bit I do know about it.
Yeah. And so all you're really doing is becoming aware that reason to use is about quite a few different things. Yeah? And now the good thing about that, when you identify that it's about all these different things, that enables you to become aware of all the different issues that's going on. And it gets your mind off the actual sort of craving to use, or the thinking of using, and onto the actual issues that's bringing this feeling about. Yeah. So, but I mean, principally the reason is to find out what those issues are now, and work towards work through them, or work on them enough, so that the link between that issue and the reason to use disappears. It's interrupted. It's not going to disappear, but it's interrupted with another possibility. Yeah. All it can ever give you is choice. But we have to accept that some of the reasons we have to use are so connected to so many things that takes away conscious choice. And that's the hard thing for people to accept. People who don't understand addiction don't understand why people do it. Why do they keep doing that? You know? And the people suffering from addiction don't understand why they're doing it. Why do I keep doing that? You know? And because the answer is so complicated, there isn't an answer. It's about this, and this. Is that reason to use? But it's not so complicated you can't figure it out. And that's what this exercise is doing. It's figuring out the complexity around that one single reason, so that it is no longer so complicated. It's no longer so powerful. Because although it is complicated, you're in touch with all the little bits. And it seems like climbing a mountain, but it isn't really. Well, it is, I guess, climbing a mountain, but then, so what? You know, people climb mountains all the time. I did Ben Nevis a few years ago. Not much of a climb really, but...
A walk.
Yeah.
I got halfway up and I couldn't handle the height. I just got that down quick.
Really? Yeah. And those three of us set off, and he's bottled out.
97 I went. 97 I went.
97. Yeah. So you've got some problems with that exercise, but you're going to get help with that. Okay, what anything else? Anybody else got some issues around step one?
It's, out of that golden green, it sort of confuses the issue a bit, doesn't it, that book?
That gold and green,
It's a
yeah,
fucking
it
long
does,
thing,
yeah,
isn't it?
yeah.
I mean, reading through it, I mean, it sort of contradicts itself in quite a few
It
different
does,
ways.
yeah.
So that's what sort of gets me to it. One question that you answer it, and then the same meaning or the same answer comes through in another question, but they're coming at it from a different way.
Yeah.
So I mean, how many times do I write the same thing down? I'm running
Well,
out of
again,
bits.
it's a similar process as to this exercise, but I don't think it's just set out as well because it's in book form. You know, it is looking at the same things from different angles, like you say, and sometimes those appear contradictory. It's an attempt to sort of demystify the complexity of the process. You know, but I think, yeah, I think it is.
Yeah, I mean, as
Quite
such, there's no real
confusing.
problem with it other than motivation, I suppose.
Yeah,
That's my biggest one with it at the moment.
yeah. Mm. When you say motivation, you mean being asked to read the book, or?
No, I've done it now. Actually, getting and fucking writing,
Right. Yeah. Well, I mean, not everybody responds to writing very well. I mean, I never did a written step one. I don't ask my sponsees to do a written step one, but a lot prefer to do so. I mean, my first step one, I had 2 step ones.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, no, I had 3. Actually, no, I couldn't think of it. The first step one was, I went to my sponsor and said, I think I've done step 1. And he says, are you powerless over alcohol? I says, yes. He says, is your life unmanageable? I says, yes. He says, congratulations, you've done step 1. That was the first one. And then the next day, I went to this meeting. I was being given a lift by this chap that had a brain. And I said to him, I've done step 1. He said, oh, brilliant, Graham. He says, so are you going to, you know, not drink and use tomorrow? I says, yep. He says, you haven't done step 1. And I didn't understand what the hell he was on about, you know, because I got one sponsor who just said, I have. You know, and then this guy said, I haven't. And I sat in all the way through this meeting, not hearing a thing. But they had these signs up, like, let go and let God. And the sign that got me was think, think, think. Which is, again, another bit of a paradox, because they put these signs up saying think, think, think. And then they spend the rest of the meeting telling each other how thinking is bad for you, you know. but I thunk, thunk, thunk. And that's when I began to be able to be wrong, was that meeting. Because I just wanted to kill this bloke who I thought was just abusing me, should be supporting me, not putting me down, blah, blah, blah. And that's the first time this thought seemed to just come from somewhere, I don't know why. Spookily, float in the room, hover a little around a little bit, and then just right quick through my head. And it was the first time I'd ever had this thought. And it went, what if you're wrong and he's right? What if I'm wrong and he's right? Never had that thought before. Never occurred to me. Never heard that phrase. And as soon as I entertained the thought that he might be right, then I got the answer. Then I understood. But this is a one day at a time reprieve. It is not a cure.